Hi guys, it's time for another episode in my Married at First Sight eyeshadow palette edition series, and I know that a lot of you guys love this, which makes me so happy because I'm super excited to do another one today. So if you're new to this series somehow, basically what I do, this is inspired by the TV show. So basically what the premise of the TV show is that experts get together and they kind of match up people to get married without having seen each other before. So this is like a pairing two palettes together to see if they work out kind of thing. I know it's very cheesy, but it is what it is. So basically what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take you to my eyeshadow palettes, and we're going to pick out two palettes that are going to be paired together today, and then we will see if they end up happily ever after. So let's go ahead and pick out some palettes. So welcome to my palettes again. If this is not your first time to one of these videos, you will know that I've kind of rearranged things a little bit here. So we're going to go through these palettes and see if I can find two that are going to be the perfect match today. So let's just get started. There's one palette in particular that I do really want to work with today. I think it's this one right here. This is from DHC Cosmetics. It's the Totally Botany palette. I mentioned this in my last one of these videos that I really wanted to pull this one out again. So I think I'm going to try to pair this with something. Now the question is, what do I want to pair this with? I'm almost thinking I want to try to use a palette that I know has some kind of tricky shimmers, because now that I have my glitter primer, I want to maybe give one of my palettes like another chance to maybe, I don't know, see if I can make the shimmers work. So what is a palette that has shimmers that I don't really like? Let me just kind of go through some of these. I mean, I feel like maybe one of my Menagerie palettes would be a good place to start, because I always seem to struggle a bit with picking up the shimmers in those. So maybe I could do that. I also have where's the Oceanic palette? I know I used that in the video not that long ago, so maybe that's not the best one. Let's see if I have, what would look good with this color story? I am all over the place. Oh, another one that could be kind of cool would be this one from Nomad, because I struggled a lot with that bottom row of shimmers here. I'm thinking those could look kind of good together. My only issue is that there's not really like that much depth in these two palettes, but do I always need depth? Maybe not. Maybe I'll try to pair these. I feel like these would be a pretty good pairing. What do you guys think? Not that you could really reply, but let's go ahead and try these two palettes together, because to me they look quite inspiring and I'm excited. So let's do it. Alright, so the palettes have been chosen, and what we are going to be using today is the Nomad Tokyo Harajuku palette. Here's what the palette looks like. I have made some videos with this, and I like this palette, but I do struggle a bit with the shimmers here. Just getting like a good application and getting them to pick up on my brush. I'm not really a finger person, and these shadows are so creamy that it's very hard to pick them up on like a dry brush. So I want to try this palette with my NYX Glitter Primer, because I feel like I'm going to be blown away, and I really feel like I just haven't done this palette any justice, because everybody seems to love it so much. So I want to love it that much too. So we're going to be using that palette with the DHC Cosmetics Totally Botany palette. Now in my first impression video with this shade right here got a little bit of hard pan, and that's why it's looking a little bit rough, because I kind of scraped off the top layer just so I could be able to pick that shadow up on a brush again. So yeah, the mattes in this palette are beautiful. I'm gonna try to look up the look that I did with this palette just so I can make sure I don't use all of the same shades and do the same look. So yeah, I'm gonna start by priming my eyes. What primer do I want to use today? Let's use the Kaleidos primer, because I do really enjoy this, but I don't really like using it yet with a new eyeshadow palette, because I don't know if I'm like that confident in being able to really judge the shadows without judging the eyeshadow primer, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna go ahead and prime with this and then try to figure out what it is that I want to do today. Okay, so I think I have a bit of a plan. I think what I want to do is kind of like an orange and a purple crease. So I think I'm going to use the shade Kawaii in this one, and then I'm going to use the shade Pansy in the other one here, which is this one. And I guess what I'll do on my lid is use two of these shimmers from the Nomad palette. I don't know what I want to do on my lower lash line yet. We'll figure that out when we get there, but let's just start off with having that as a plan. So it's not going to be like a super crazy or intense look. I just kind of want to mostly focus on the shimmers here to see if I can really make those pop this time. So I'm first going to dip into this shade here with my Rephr number 13 brush. And I'm going to use this as my transition shade, and this kind of matches my shirt that I have on today. It's kind of like a coral shirt. Anyway, I do want to mention something to you guys about the Rephr brushes though, because I was just talking to them and they were saying they wanted to kind of do something with different influencers that they work with. Obviously, I do work with Rephr, you guys know that. I do have a code or a link with them, I should say. But they were asking me what brush was my favorite because they were thinking about putting up some for half off in their concept store. And obviously, like, the 13 brush is my favorite. So when this video is going up, this brush here is going to be half off. So it's going to be $12, which is absolutely insane. So if you guys have been thinking about maybe picking up one of these brushes, it will be in a matte handle as well as an extra long length. But it's just such a good brush. Like, you guys see me use this all the time. I cannot get enough. Like, if I could only keep one brush forever for the rest of my life, like, this would be the brush that I would use, because I feel like I can do anything with this, and then I could just use my finger to put stuff on my lid, even though I don't really like that. But, you know, whatever it is that I use in my crease to put on color in my crease with is way more important than what I put on my lid shade with. So this is by far my favorite brush. And the supply only lasts until it sells out, which I'm sure it will, because they probably don't have like that much stock. So if you guys have been thinking about getting this would be the time, because $12 for this brush. I mean, if I didn't already have like 6 of them, I would order some myself, but like, I just cannot get enough of this brush. And you guys are probably sick of me just using this brush in every single video all the time now, but here's your chance if you want to get this one. And the offer is also available for the number 2 brush, which is this one right here. This is a packing brush. I will use this on my lower lash line when we get to that point. I might even try to use it on my lid, even though it's not really what I use it for. I normally use it under my eye because it's like the perfect size for that. But let's go ahead and move into the next crease shade here. I just wanted to mention it. So let's see. I'm gonna take the shade Pansy from the DHC Cosmetics palette here. And I'm still going to use my number 13 brush because it is the only brush that I ever use. Sometimes I use number 14, which is like a bit of a bigger blender brush. Like, I usually use that if I'm going in with some very light transition shade, but I really do just prefer my number 13. I don't know, it's just like such a good size for my small little hooded eyes. So if you have hooded eyes too, you would probably like this brush as much as I do. So I'm already seeing a little bit of problems building up this shade in the DHC Cosmetics palette, which is very surprising because I didn't have any issues with the other, like the greens and the teals in my first impression video when I used it. So that's disappointing because this is just not layering very well over that corally shade. I don't know if it's because they're different formulas and they're not from like the same brand. And maybe the one in the Tokyo palette is a little bit more like smoother. It's leaning a little bit more, not satiny. It's not a satin shade, but like the texture of their shadows, I don't know, it's so hard to explain, but it's almost like a bit of a creamy and slick formula rather than a dry matte that a lot of other brands come out with. Like, as you can see, this is just not really building at all here. So maybe what I'll do is I'll just kind of put this all over my lid, and then I can put one of those topper shades over the top. I mean, see how that is like gripping in my line here? That is so weird. Like, this is not looking good, you guys. Like, that looks terrible. That looks so bad. What am I supposed to do with this? Oh man, I'm tempted to just start over. Yeah, like, that looks terrible. I'm going to wipe this off and we're just gonna start over, and I think I'm going to pick a different palette. I don't even want to use this anymore, so let's go ahead and pick another palette to use with the Tokyo palette, because I'm not impressed, and I can't be bothered with shadows that aren't going to work today. So let me take this off and let's go choose another palette to work with. Okay, back to my collection we go, and I did take that palette with me just so I could see the row of shimmers here, because I do mostly want to use the shimmers in that palette along with some other mattes. So let's see, what do I really want to do with these? I feel like something kind of like what I was thinking earlier, something kind of orangey purple would look really nice with some of these shimmers, maybe something green as well. So let's see if I have a palette that I haven't really used in a while that has those colors in it. What about this one? I haven't used this one in forever. This is such an old palette. It's one of my oldest palettes. Oh, you know what I want to use? I want to use the Zodiac palette. I don't know if these are really going to go together though, but you guys said you wanted to see me use this in a video, and this one has some beautiful purples. You know what? Let's try to use this. I know I'm probably not going to use any of the shimmers in this, but maybe I will. Let's try it. Why not? Alright, so our first pairing failed miserably. That definitely ended in a very quick divorce. They shouldn't have been married in the first place. Let's see if we can make something work with the Zodiac palette. I'm honestly kind of excited to dip back into this again because those purples down here are some of my favorite like tones of purples in my collection. So I think what I want to do is I want to kind of just build up a bit of a purple crease. I'm going to start with this, and then I guess I will do kind of what I did earlier by using that coral shade or the orange shade, but I want to use that to blend it out with instead of trying to layer them. So I'm going to first go into this purple here. This one doesn't have a name. It's the purple in the Cancer row. And I did go ahead and prime my eyes again with my Kaleidos primer, and I'm again going to go in with my Rephr number 13 brush and just place this in the outer corner of my eye and then pull this through my crease. It'll be interesting to see how these shadows perform. I honestly haven't used this palette in probably a year or so. So I hope that these are still going to perform as good as they did when they were new, because I used to really love this. I mean, so far it's at least not going on patchy at all, so that's nice. So I'm gonna blend a little bit here on the edge before we go in with that other color, but I don't want to blend this too high up because I do want that orange to like look orange, and I don't want these to really blend together too much. But it's just going to help with the blend if I already have it a little bit blended out here. Now let's go back into the Tokyo palette. I'm gonna grab that same shade again because I just really want to have like a corally purple crease. I just think it's going to look so pretty. Just going to wipe off my brush here on my towel in front of me and use the same brush yet again. And I'm gonna use this to blend out this shadow with. It doesn't really need much help to get blended out, but it's more just going to be to pull in a bit of a different color here. I see I have a little bit of fallout with that purple, but hopefully that will wipe away okay. So I'm just gonna take this like on the edge between the purple and my skin here. And the purple is not really sticking to my eye, so I'm gonna definitely need to go back in with that. Man, I really did not think that today would be such a struggle eyeshadow-wise. Like, usually when I sit down to do this, it's like relaxing, and usually I use palettes that I know I like and I wanna just get some more use out of. Today might not be one of those days. Today might be a bit of a struggle bus here, but hopefully the shimmers in the Tokyo palette is going to save the day, because I feel like that's going to be needed after how this is looking, because again, this is just not really looking that great. But I'm gonna go back in with that purple and hopefully be able to build that back up again. So let's see how the purple is going to layer on top here. Alright, so this is building so much better than that other stupid palette, so it's definitely the palette's fault, and it's not me trying to layer shadows on top of the Nomad shadows, even though, like I was saying, they are a bit of a different, unique formula. Just gonna take a little bit more of that corally orange shade on my Rephr number 14, which is that bigger blending brush, and I'm just going to run that very lightly over this and just kind of use this to diffuse the edges. So I think this is looking quite good. Let me just kind of see if I can wipe away that fallout, which is kind of sticking to my face. I think that was the purple from the other palette, if I'm being honest. It's not looking terrible. I feel like the blend here is just not that good. Am I just really having an off day today? I don't know what is going on. Okay, it's not looking that bad. Let's see, what do I want to do next? Let's just take a look at these shimmers, because I don't know if I want to use the shimmers now or if I want to maybe do my lower lash line first. I'm thinking I kind of just want to go in with these shimmers. So what I was originally planning to use was this one right here, because this one is definitely more of like a purpley orange, so I feel like that would go really nice with the look. But then again, this one is also beautiful, so maybe I could layer these like next to each other. Like, you can see just how sheer they are. So I'm hoping if I use my glitter primer, I'm going to really be able to make these pop. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. I'm just gonna go in with this one on the outer portion of my lid and this one in the inner portion. So let me go ahead and grab my NYX Glitter Primer. And I'm gonna do one eye at a time here. I'm going to use my Rephr number 2 brush, which I said was also going to be in the concept store half off today. Also for $12. This one is going to be a medium length handle though, and it's not like one of those extra long ones, but I mean, they still perform just as good. So I'm just going to pack this basically all over my lid here where I want that shadow to be, creating a little bit of a cut crease just in my crease here. And then I'm gonna take the same brush and I'm going to dip into the decor shade, which was the dark purple. So I mean, this is picking up so much better on my brush when I have a little bit of glitter primer already on it here. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to pack on as much of this as I'm able to. So, I mean, that does look really nice. I'm gonna flip my brush and dip into the yellow right next to it. And I'm going to put that in the front portion of my lid here. Now you can tell really when I put it on the eyes, like the color of this is not at all what it looks like in the pan, because in the pan it looks extremely yellow, but it has such a strong pink shift to it that you can barely even see the yellow when it goes on the eyes. It's very interesting. But I definitely like the shimmers so much more with a glitter primer underneath. Like, that really makes them pop so much more. See, like, doesn't that look so good? Ooh, I love that. That looks amazing. I'm gonna do the same on the other eye, and then we can do the lower lash line. So this looks awesome. I would like to get just a little bit more depth in the outer corners of my eye here. So I'm gonna go back into my Zodiac palette and I'm gonna grab the shade, which again doesn't have a name, but it's the darkest purple in the palette. Do I wanna use that? Yeah, I think I do wanna use that. Maybe I wanna use no, I don't wanna use a brown. Who am I kidding? So let's go ahead and just take a little bit of this shade just in the very outer corner of my eye here. And I'm just also going to blend that over a little bit where I put down these shimmers just to get a little bit more depth here. I don't want too much of this color, but I also do want to just add a little bit of extra something here. I don't know what it is. I just feel like my mattes are just not performing that well today. And I can't blame the primer, I can't blame the brushes, so I have to blame the shadows. I'm just gonna grab a little bit more of that first crease shade that I used, the purple, and just kind of run this through my crease one last time because I just feel like it's fading a little bit on me. Maybe it's the formula that's getting a little bit old in the Zodiac palette, or maybe I just suck at doing eyeshadow today. I'm not really sure. It could be both, to be honest. So am I happy with this? I don't know. I feel like I'm seeing a bit of a sharp line, like right in my crease here. Maybe it's the glitter primer's fault. Maybe I just suck at doing makeup today. But my lid shades look beautiful though. I mean, you can't deny that. I'm also having a little bit more fallout here. It's just one of those days, you guys. Maybe I want to put on lashes today just to make this look a little bit better. I don't know. Does it just look like a cut crease? Does this look better than I feel like it does? A lot of the time I look back on my footage and I'm like, girl, it didn't look that bad. So maybe it's just a case of it not looking that bad far away and it's just me overanalyzing everything. Okay, let's see. What do I want to do on my lower lashes? Do I want to use any of the mattes in this Zodiac palette? I kind of think I just want to do what I did in my crease, but I also don't really want to try to layer these two colors on top of each other again. But maybe that's just what I need to do. We're gonna try it. We're gonna give these an extra chance here. My God. So what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna go into the orange and I'm going to use that all across my lower lash line, and then I'll go back into that purple in the Zodiac palette and use that to really get close to my lower lash line here. And that is what I really like to use my number 2 brush for. This is again my number 13 because I feel like I can use this for everything because it is the perfect size. Having a little bit of fallout with this shade here too. Thank God I don't have any highlighter or anything like that on. We're gonna do that after I'm done with the eye look. Next up, taking a clean number 2 brush here, and I'm just going to pack that closest to my lower lash line. Like, I don't know if it's just the formula in this palette that's gotten really weird, or if it really is something to do with me trying to layer another kind of formula on top of the Nomad one. I can't really decide what is going on, but I just feel like I'm having issues with my mattes today. Let me know if you guys have tried to use any of the Nomad mattes along with other mattes in your collection and how it has gone for you, because I just feel like the formulas don't really mesh that well together. And I can't really explain or understand why that is. I'm just taking a little bit more of that purple just in my crease here. I don't know. I feel like this is looking really bad. Like, I just feel like they are kind of sliding on top of each other and I'm not able to really contain that purple where I want it. Like, it's just kind of going everywhere. This eye look is just, this is not my day today, but I just can't be bothered doing this all over again. So I guess I'm gonna go ahead and finish off. These look so bad. What is happening today? I don't know. I'm gonna finish off my eyes. I'm going to put something in my waterline, do some liner and mascara. Maybe I'll put on some lashes to try to hide this because this is not looking good. So I'll come back when my eyes are done and we can do the face and the lips and highlighter and all that fun stuff together. So I'll be right back. Okay, the eyes are done. I could not be bothered with lashes because I don't think I'll be wearing this for very long. If I'm being completely honest, I don't know. Maybe it looks better on camera, but I just feel like the blend that I have in my crease is just, it's not looking good. The outer corner here is all like muddy and you can't really tell that I use two different colors because they just kind of blended into each other, which never usually happens with me. So let's just finish off the face. So let's see, what do I want to do? I do want to bronze a little bit. And I think today I'm going to use my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. I did mention this in my favorites video. If you missed that, I will link that in the corner. But I just really like this bronzer in the summer when I have a little bit of a tan. Like it's just, I feel like it's just the perfect color for me. And it's also just so easy to work with and effortless that I don't really feel like I can mess up. Like it's never going to get like super out of hand and it's never going to be patchy. It always just looks really good. So I'm gonna do that, and then I think I want to use one of my Anna Sui blushes because I also haven't used this one in a while because this one is in one of my empty palettes. This is the shade 601. This is what it looks like. It's a bit of like a corally pinky blush. It is beautiful. So I'm gonna be kind of heavy with this, I guess, but yeah, I was gonna say maybe not that heavy, but sometimes when I use natural hair brushes with my blushes, it gets a little bit out of hand very quickly because they just pick up more product and sometimes I forget that. But it's okay. I'm gonna go in and diffuse this a little bit, but I am going to blush my nose because I can't help it. And now my battery is flashing, so I need to either hurry up here or switch out the battery, and I'm gonna err on the side of hurrying up because I'm not going to film anything else after this, I don't think. I'm gonna take my powder brush here. It's just whatever I use with my face powder on the day, and I'm just gonna go over this. And I think for my highlighter today, let's go back into the solmåne highlighting palette from Odens Eye Cosmetics because I want to play with this a little bit more. I'm thinking, should I just use the blue today for no reason other than I want to try it because I don't like my makeup anyway? So maybe I'll go ahead and do that because I do want to test that out. So let's go ahead and dig into this one and just kind of see what it looks like on the face. So this, oh, that's beautiful. That's definitely way more purple than blue, and it kind of goes with the eye look. I wasn't expecting that. That's stunning. Ooh, I like that a lot. And I have now tried every single highlighter in this highlighting palette, and I think that they are all so beautiful. Maybe not the best color for a nose highlight, but you know what? I don't even really care. Just gonna go quickly over this again with my blush brush to make sure I blend these together and just put on way too much blush again. It's just one of those days. I don't know what's going on today. Oh, my makeup looks so bad and I don't feel like that blush really layered very nicely over that highlighter either. I'm gonna find a lip gloss, put that on, and then we're gonna be done with the video. And I'm gonna use this one from Clinique. I've had this for quite some time. It used to be a favorite like a year ago, and I've kind of forgotten about it. It's in the shade Sorbet Pop. This is definitely more of an opaque gloss, which you guys know I like that. So I'm gonna put on some of this, and hopefully, I was gonna say this is gonna save the look, but it absolutely will not. But now I remember why I like this gloss so much, because this is beautiful and it's so comfortable. It's nice and opaque. This is going to be the final look. Let's see. For these palettes, they definitely should not be staying together. This was another divorce, so we had two divorces in the same video. I'm not even going to poll you guys and see what you think because I just don't feel like the formulas work well together. I will say though that I am much more pleased with the shimmer formulas in the Nomad palette this time when I used it than I was last time I used them, because I had the NYX Glitter Primer. But I just feel like Nomad's mattes just don't work good with other brands' mattes. I don't know. Let me know if you've tried Nomad with something else and how you feel about it, because their formula is just very like slick. It's very hard to like blend other matte shadows into it or layer on top of it. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I feel like I am the only person who struggles with Nomad's formula, and it makes me so sad because everyone loves it so much and never seems to have any issues. But every time I use their palettes, it's always like something that kind of not goes wrong, but just something that doesn't go right, if that makes any sense. Anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling. Thank you for watching another one of my Married at First Sight videos. If you want to see more of these, please do let me know. And here's 2 more if you want to watch the ones that you maybe missed. If you're new to my channel, I would love it if you would consider subscribing, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.